But anyway, we get contacted by the carrier saying they're admitting to coverage. So we're like, okay, great. So they opened coverage, went to appraisal. We didn't agree. So it was full-blown denial. Ended up overturning it. They issued an undisputed of $33,000. Went to appraisal. We didn't settle. Went to umpire, and we just got the award last week. It was $119,000.
What?
Yeah.
Talk about an aha moment.
That's badass.
$119,000 when they said that claim was denied.
We have like a reminder at 30 day, reminder at 45. Like, we never miss that because we have in the past, and when it happened once,
it's the worst.
Yeah,
it's like it's a case killer.
Yeah.
We need more female public adjusters.
I agree.
Yeah, we do.
How many female public adjusters do you guys have?
Insurance companies and the legislature, right, is basically attacking the homeowner and the policyholder rather than attacking the problem, right? And I think the problem mainly is the claims handling practices that insurance companies have in place. Why isn't anybody looking at that right now?
Yuly, you need to be the advocate for more female public adjusters. That could be the niche.
Female claim advocate.
Pat.
See?
Pat, that's your job, buddy. You got to go after the female public adjusters, my friend. There's got to be a lot of them out there.
Here, as we see, as recently as today, things are changing. So everything you may know from the last decade or more could change this July.
Exactly.
And now we all have to adapt, to these new changes. So
we're talking about HB 305.
Yep.
Yeah. I think more than the information that we work with is how you execute it, right? That's where the power lies. But that's available to everyone still. I mean, the strategies are there. You just have to implement them.
We give them what's called a CCAT, which actually measures their intelligence and their willingness to learn new things. So it's like an administrative role.
I need to write all these things.
You have a pen and paper right there. You can write it down. Everything starts with the culture index. What's up, advocates? And welcome back to another episode of the Claims Game Podcast. Real good one that we've got for you today. A little bit different also. But before I get into it, I just want to let you guys know Patreon has been awesome so far. We've got quite a few members already, and we're offering some unique things. For example, discussion of the week. So every Monday I get on and I basically do a video and we talk about something unique in the industry, and we all get into a live discussion about it. Another thing that we do is a Q&A, monthly Q&A with all of our Patreon members so that they could ask me anything that they want. It's really cool. I think you guys should really consider it. There's different levels of sponsorship as low as $5 a month. So go ahead, check it out, patreon.com/commercial claims advocate. Today's podcast, I think you guys are going to really enjoy. It's with another public adjusting firm. Another public adjusting firm that I've got a lot of respect for. Another public adjusting firm that runs like a machine. Another public adjusting firm that's got just a high level of culture and of education going on with them and all their public adjusters. That public adjusting firm is Monarch Claims Consultants. You could find Monarch Claims Consultants on monarchclaims.com. You could find Monarch Claims on Facebook, on Instagram. But more importantly, you could find Monarch Claims on YouTube also. On YouTube on what's called the Monarchy Podcast. Check it out. Really cool podcast. Really beautiful studio. They were nice enough that when I asked them to be on the podcast, to provide their studio for us to do the podcast in their studio. So like I said, it's a little bit different. It's not a Zoom podcast that we've got today. It's actually in their studio, so it's pretty cool. I think you guys are going to like it. So it was a live in-person conversation. They're also from Miami. By the way, they're located in Miami. As you guys know, I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida, so we talk about a lot of pretty cool Miami stuff, like the most and the best pan con pité, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's a steak sandwich. But we talk about just different Miami things and just about the industry in general and really about how they run their business. They're not giving us any secrets or anything, but I think they really separate themselves amongst other public adjusting firms. And if you're a growing public adjusting firm or just any public adjuster, I think you're going to learn a lot about proper processes, proper procedures, proper way of educating your PAs, and just proper way of doing things and running a business. So again, I got a lot of respect for these two. It's an interview with Yuly and Edgar. They are of Monarch podcast, and I think of Monarch Claims. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. So here it is. Stay tuned. Claims Game Podcast. Check it out. All for you. Go.
Welcome to the Claims Game Podcast with Vince Perry. Get all the tips you need from insurance claim advocates and professionals and grow your public adjusting career to the next level. And now the commercial claims advocate, Vince Perry.
So about your 5-year anniversary.
Yeah, I mean, there's videos. It was crazy.
The only video I've seen of you is you working out, bro.
You see those, okay?
Where's your CrossFit gym?
I'm right around the corner.
Yeah.
It's actually one of our adjusters is the owner,
Nice.
so I try to help him promote it a little bit.
You guys,
as best as I can.
you guys do you guys like work out as a team? Ever? Like the whole office?
No, well, actually,
Julie's like, yeah, no,
I'm like, no.
no, thank you.
we've had like field days, but it's not something that we do constant. Like, we should do it more often.
We
Yeah,
talked
like-
about like having something coming up, like
Like every Saturday or something like that, just get together and do it.
not
I don't
every
know about
Saturday, maybe
like once every quarter or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like do like a happy hour, and instead of drinking, you just go do CrossFit.
Exactly.
Just like work out.
it's not such a happy hour,
Yeah.
but
Except we'll get like probably
Maybe a sweaty
2 people
hour.
here. or something.
Yeah. What'd you guys do for your 5-year anniversary?
So we not rented.
what do you remember?
I don't think he remembers much.
Let's not talk about because I'm gonna bring up.
Bring it up.
You know what I'm gonna bring up.
I don't know what
We've
you're
got
talking
time.
about.
We've got time. You know,
I can't.
it's not 5 o'clock yet.
I cannot. I'm gonna hold that one until later. So we reserved at this restaurant called Tapeo or Tapeo.
Tapeo.
It's like
Like
a
tapas.
Spanish restaurant.
Okay.
We got the whole place to ourselves, and
Corrugated.
we had drinks, we ate, we hung out, and then the craziness came when we went to curfew is done, right? It was
that
lifted.
weekend.
It was
I think
lifted
it was that weekend.
on the
that
12th.
What was
This-
curfew?
Miami-Dade had a
Miami-
curfew.
for
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, because you could only get COVID after a certain time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine we went all out. We went all out, and we were just partying and popping bottles. The usual.
Nice. See, people don't know about that. That's Miami style.
Yeah.
We did
100.
the
True Miami fashion.
We did the SVG event a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you guys saw that. We went to
Yeah.
New Orleans for the
Yeah, I
SVG
saw
event, Win the Storm, and it was funny. I tell this story to everybody because my wife was worried about how do I dress? What am I going to wear? Everybody's going to be dressed all nice. It's not. What am I going to wear? What am I going to do? So I talked to TJ Ware, and I'm like, TJ, so you've been to these things like a million times. Like, my wife wants to know like what she should wear to make sure that we're not underdressed. He's like, yeah, no problem. He's like, you want to dress nice, this and that. He's like, let me send you some photos from last year's event. So he sends us like this Facebook thing, and I'm like, here, babe, here are the photos. She looks through it. She's like, bro, are you serious? She's like, this is Miami on a Tuesday night. This is nothing,
Yeah.
People don't know about where we're from.
Exactly.
That's why I love coming back here. It's like, even though, like I told you before, I'm getting pulled from like 16 different directions because I got to stay with mom and I got to do this and I got to see my sister and I got to see all these people. I think we're built differently.
And we are.
Yeah.
It's a race of its own, a community of its own.
I also think that the swagger is like a real thing too, like that Jorge Masvidal thing and the U and all that stuff. I think like now that I'm in Tampa and everything, like I could just tell like we're just built differently.
Yeah. No,
I
I
went
agree.
to an anniversary party last night on a Thursday night. 17 people, just on a random weeknight. It's like other people you have to plan ahead. And I found out the day before. My friend's like, hey, tomorrow, okay, yeah, we're there, whatever. Got a babysitter on a school night. Other people's like, no, I need.
Where was it at? At like a fancy place?
No, well, it was
Oh.
nice. I forgot the name of the place. It used to be Mina's, actually. I don't know if you
Is it
guys
a place
know.
in Hialeah? Or?
No, it's on. I don't even know what that is. It's 79th Street, like
79th Street and what?
That's Doral,
Pass
right?
Biscayne. It's called
Oh.
Badelo or Badeo. I forgot. It's an Italian restaurant.
That's
It was
northeast.
Northeast.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. East of Biscayne.
There is an area in Tampa. It's called
Your with a Y?
no, Ybor too. Ybor's another one.
I've
Yeah.
been there, and that's a little shady.
Yeah, it is. At night, after
Yeah.
like 11 o'clock at night, it's like, but there's a place called Town and Country. It's like Hialeah.
Really?
It's crazy. It looks exactly
where you
like
go hang out?
Hialeah. That's where we go. If my wife wants to go to like one of the Cuban clubs or something like that, yeah, that's where we go to do some salsa dancing and
But
everything.
there's a lot of Cuban there?
There is a very large Cuban population in Tampa. Because you have to understand, there's Ybor City, and apparently before everybody, I don't know the exact story, so if anybody calls me out on it, before like, I think it's before El Mariel.
Look at you talking about Mariel.
Huh?
I'm like, look at you talking about a
You know
Mariel.
I speak Spanish, right? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you say Mariel and Hialeah very well.
No, but nobody knows that I speak Spanish. Nobody.
No,
But,
they do.
but before Miami really became Miami, actually Tampa was the place that everybody came to. a lot. There's like there's a big Cuban history there in Ybor City, Cigar City, and it's all about like Cuban cigars and everything.
They have that. It was a Colombia restaurant that
They have the Colombia restaurant there that people say is
old.
good, but also people say it's not as good.
I've been to one in St. Augustine, which is like really old too.
Yeah.
But the same owners.
It's hard to find
It's
Cuban
supposed to be
food
good.
in Tampa though.
Good Cuban
Good
food or
Cuban food.
Yeah, not like here.
not like La Carreta.
No. You know where I have to go every time I come here? Well, I usually stop by Sergio's, but I have to go and have a pan con pite at Carla Bakery.
Carla.
In my
Carla with a
opinion,
K?
that's
Yeah.
the best one. Which is your
You know, is it Carla with a K, right?
no.
Carla with a
Bakery
K.
with a K.
Yeah,
Where is
with
this?
a K.
Flagler and Flagler and like 84th Avenue.
Gotcha. I usually don't go past like Bird Road. That's
No, you're one of those guys. You're a Kendall guy. You're a Kendall guy?
Exactly, yeah.
Ah, you see, I'm Westchester, Sweetwater. Born and raised on Fontainebleau.
and there you go.
Yeah. So never go to Carla Bakery? No? You never been?
Man. Never. I mean, I gotta go now to try
No,
the
now
pan
you
con
gotta
pite.
try.
So
So what's your favorite? What's the best pan con pite in there? Where?
I don't know. That's a good question.
For those that don't know, that's a steak sandwich.
yeah.
Cuban steak sandwich.
Cuban
yeah.
steak sandwich.
I can't think of it now.
I haven't had one of those in
but-
a really long time.
But check this out: Pinecrest Bakery at
Ooh, yeah.
3 a.m. You get un pan con churrasco.
Oof.
Oh, that's like
That
un pan
is
con pite.
mind
better,
blowing.
yeah, but that's
But it's got to be at 3 a.m. so that it
No,
tastes
yeah.
better.
Exactly.
It tastes
Yes,
better at
yes,
3 in the
yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
So they
It
open like
is.
24 hours?
Yeah.
So is Carla Bakery.
yeah.
Oh, I did not know this.
What was the spot that you used to go to? I would say, I don't know how old we are, but let's say 20s after the club. Where would be the 24-hour spot that you would go to? I'm going to start. Latin Cafeteria on Flagler and 107th.
I don't think there was like one specific location,
No?
but it was always like a Denny's or something.
No, that's
yeah.
whack.
So La Palma and La Ocho.
Yes.
I used to go there.
That's where
I
they have
don't know
the fritas. They have the
Yeah.
best fritas there.
Yeah.
Mary's Coin Laundry.
Mary's Coin Laundry.
No?
No.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
That's
no,
okay.
no,
Yeah,
that's
no. I haven't been there.
It's all night.
We want to hear what the young people have to say.
Yeah.
O Los Perros. Have you got? Did you guys-
Oh,
Perros.
yes.
Oh, Lo
That's
Verde.
true.
Lo
Yeah.
Verde.
I haven't been to that one.
We actually went the other day to Los Perros to the one by my house. We went to pick something up. It was like popping in there. There was no parking.
Yeah.
It was like a club. I was like,
Yeah.
I did not know all people were hanging out outside their cars. I'm like,
I love it. We're getting like super Miami right now, but Los Perros is Colombian, right?
It's Colombian, yeah.
They sell the best Colombian hot dogs where they put everything on there.
it's like chips and
put chips,
cacio mayo,
They put
pineapple.
ketchup and mayo. They put pineapple. You could get different ones.
Salchipapa.
Huevos de codorniz.
Huevo codorniz.
What is that?
Quail,
Say that in
quail
English.
eggs.
Quail eggs.
Those are
Quail egg.
delicious.
They put it on there? I don't think
Yeah.
I've had that. Maybe
Yeah.
they did. I just ate it.
Requested.
And
They
I
have
didn't care. I
the-
was hammered, so I just ate it.
You
They
gotta
have the
request it.
salchipapa. It's like potatoes with like chorizo.
The salchipapa
pork,
is good.
And then it has the quail eggs inside.
Salchipapa
Y
is...
los maicitos.
Y los maicitos.
What is that? The corn?
Yeah, it's like corn and cheese and like beef or chicken. It's
People don't understand the cuisine that we got in Miami.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the Latin cuisine has got to be the best in the country.
I agree.
I think so, right? Because you got to mix of everything. I think it's the best in the world when you think
Yeah.
about it.
There's nothing like Miami. I travel
Yeah,
often, and when that plane is arriving, and I see my city,
Yes.
I'm like, home, home.
And have you ever moved out? Have you ever moved away from Miami?
Never. I've only lived in 2 places: in Cuba, Havana, and now in Miami.
So you've only lived in Cuba.
When you, I told you guys last time, right, that people say that Miami is the closest country to the United States.
Yeah. It's northern Cuba.
When you move out of Miami, there is this sense of pride that is ridiculous. You become like so proud. I'm so proud of this city.
Of being from here.
As much as like, honestly, when I come back, I can't wait to go back to Tampa because as soon as I hit the traffic on the 836, I'm just like, I'm done with this. But that being said, like when I'm in Tampa, I'm just like, I overuse my bros. I start talking like even more Miami when I'm away from Miami just to let people know that that's where I'm from.
To remind yourself where
You know?
you're from.
Yeah. So you imagine your 5-year anniversary. That's pretty awesome.
So what? What was the question? I'm sorry.
No, I said you mentioned your 5-year anniversary.
Yes, man. Yes.
I think they say that every business, what is it, the first 5 years or something like that is the most critical, the most crucial.
We were
So
just talking about that, I think, the other day with somebody. About like if you make it to like the first 5 years, like the success rate is much higher.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think we're doing pretty good.
that's pretty awesome. How are you guys doing? Good?
Good.
Yeah, you feeling good? I really like you guys because not just you two individually, but yes, you two also. Well, for one, I feel like I feel like the other day I called you and I asked you, I think, for a pretty big favor, and you guys were like more than willing and beyond willing, and I'm always very grateful for that. And I thought that was cool, and I think you guys sort of share, and we've talked about this, Edgar. I think we all share the whole sentiment of public adjusters working together. Whether you're with a different company or not, I don't think it should matter, because at the end of the day, like what I always tell people is, it's not us against us, it's us against the insurance company.
Exactly.
And the more we could combine our powers, the better. I think the more successful we can be as a company, as companies, and also to the insureds.
Yeah, as an industry
And
altogether.
even then, we're outnumbered, right?
Yeah.
We're fighting these huge corporations.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they clearly come together,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes, I agree. They
and
probably
we
do.
don't. So, yeah, but that's something we have discussed, and I think that's something that we share, that mentality of that we're stronger together.
Yeah.
And I just wish that more PAs, specifically in Miami, you know, wouldn't be so selfish, I guess, you know, or so, I don't know, lack that confidence of like being able to share, you know, not just trade secrets, but like just information and be available to other PAs. It would be so much better.
Secrets. I'm doing air
Secrets.
quotes right now
Yeah.
because are there any secrets? I mean,
No.
when I started doing the channel and I started educating and everything like that, one of the things was like, look, if I could Google something that I need to know, and somebody on Google is willing to provide that information, or if I could research a book and in that book they could provide me with different leadership styles, growing your business, technically they're giving away secrets too. Like, why can't we do the same thing? I just don't understand like why people don't do that.
I think more than the information that we work with is how you execute it, right? That's where the power lies. But that's available to everyone still. I mean, the strategies are there. You just have to implement them.
And if we all implemented them, or we all did it together, like imagine how much more effect it would have on the carriers. Or like, these people are doing, these people are doing this. Like, I feel like there would be more pressure for change.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, you know, just these people that, you know, are putting, you know, presenting things this way. It's like they're all doing it. I think it's gonna call for an action to change.
I think the conversation you and I were just having before we got on the podcast, you were asking me, well, when do you notify the state? Do you find that works for you? Do you find that filing the CRN works? You know, and I think those conversations, shooting back and forth, need to happen more often.
Of course.
We need to help each other.
And it doesn't take anything away from you.
No.
And you don't know when you can, you know, that person may need you today, but you may need them tomorrow or the day after, because every case is different. So they may be presented with a case that in all your years of experience, you may have never been presented with. So
No
you're
matter
an asset
what-
to each other.
That's also true. No matter how many years you've been doing this, every claim is different.
Correct.
You're always running into something new, and you're going to have some questions. And there's, you know, I'm sure by now most of us sort of know what we have to do, but there's always going to be like,
You've never seen it all. And every year, as we see, as recently as today, things are changing. So everything you may know from the last decade or more could change this July.
Exactly.
And now we all have to adapt, you know, to these new changes. So,
we're talking about HB 305.
yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we were trying to talk about that, right? So what is it? So we have to deal with what? 10 days, right? That an insured can cancel our contract
Instead of the
5?
3.
Well, 3.
Three?
But I don't know if it's 10. They haven't released the details as far as I know.
Right.
So I think it's 10 overall, because before it was 3 for non-emergency claims and 5 for emergency claims.
Right.
So
So we don't know if the 10 overrides both, or
Exactly.
if the 10 is for one and maybe
I don't know.
more or less.
We just know that HB 305 passed,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
What is the other ones?
The POL that has to be submitted as soon as you file the claim, or
60
sorry,
days.
60 days, within
Which is
filing
part
the
of
claim.
our policies and procedures already.
Exactly.
For us, this is the first thing we do. As soon as we get the estimate, we put the PL together.
Yeah, we don't do it that way, Vince.
I just don't want to forget.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
but
have
who knows?
reminders. We have like a reminder at 30 day, reminder at 45. Like, we never miss that because we have in the past, and when it happened once,
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's like it's a case killer.
Yeah. 100%.
But you know what? That right there, like, we don't know if maybe, you know, your influence, Vince, or somebody else that's been sending it at the beginning, maybe that's something that prompted this change of like, hey, why can't everybody send it 60 days from the beginning? So that's what I'm talking about. Like, if we all start doing things a certain way, we don't know the effect that can have, you know, for good or bad.
Yeah.
I used to wait until they requested it. But then, you know, what if you missed that letter or something like that, and then you never submit it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we always wait just because also we think from a strategy standpoint, and you may think differently, that if you submit the estimate right away, which has to accompany the POL, you're kind of showing your cards before they show theirs, right?
Sometimes I agree.
So from a strategy standpoint, I don't love the idea, but I mean, if it's the new rule, we got to go through it.
That could be the reason why. That could be the reason why they want you to show your cards, or they want us to show our cards first. And then it'll help them
decide if, like, do we want to pay this one? No, we're gonna deny this one.
I was with a guy today, and he took me to a claim, and we were walking through it, and he's like, "What do you think? Is this related? Is this not? Can we put this in the estimate?" And I think the fact of the matter is sometimes the more we throw in there, the higher chances of it not going the way we want it to go, So that's probably what it is. They want to see, all right, we think this claim is, I don't know, $10,000, and they've got a $300,000 estimate,
Let's make them fight it.
Yeah.
Let's make them fight it to the end.
Yeah. Which ultimately is costing them more money, right?
Litigation,
No, well, mediation and
litigation.
Litigation.
Yeah, correct. They, I don't know if this is the statistic is correct, but they said that over 71% of the money that they spent towards claims was to pay the attorneys.
Really?
And some article I read this.
Yeah.
We don't have the source right now, but we read this.
But that's it.
But it sounds
that's a lot. 71%.
Yeah.
That's a big chunk.
But if you can reduce, let's say it wasn't 71%, if you could reduce your cost by 71 or 50 or 20 or 10% by eliminating that, why wouldn't you?
Not even eliminating, at least just paying
the claim,
Yeah.
paying the claims, and maybe fighting the ones that are like fraudulent or crazy denials.
Have you felt that the insurance companies have been making a little bit harder?
I think they have.
Just in the life of the claim?
I think they have.
Yeah.
I think they delay.
I've been feeling it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like it's taking a little bit longer, and we're still following all the statutes. We're doing everything we have to do, but I don't know. I can't pinpoint at what it is, but I feel like they're fighting a little bit harder.
Unnecessarily, because ultimately it will go to litigation and it will get settled.
Well, because we're handling it.
Right.
But the harder they make it, let's say for new public adjusters, and one thing I want to talk to you guys about too is the training you guys give your adjusters. I think is phenomenal. But let's say for new public adjusters, I'll give you an example. I got one of my guys signed a bunch of claims in Pensacola in September, and all of a sudden, it's like March, and I'm like, dude, I haven't really gotten any. We haven't settled any of these claims. Like, what's going on? So I start looking into the claims, and it's just. They're being worked, but they're not really being worked. It just feels like they're just sitting, and he goes, well, I figured that it's gonna get paid eventually, and I'm like, dude, that's exactly what the insurance company wants.
That's what they're banking on.
They're willing to wait forever. You want to wait? Sure, we'll wait also.
Yeah, but the client gets desperate at times.
And then the client gets desperate. I said, dude, we have to be careful because the client is gonna eventually just be like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, and they're more likely to accept a much lower settlement than to continue fighting for what the claim is actually worth.
Which is what I was getting at. It's accepting a lower settlement. It's giving up. I think a lot of people just give up. They're just like, whatever, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'll just fix it myself.
Yeah.
And the insurance company knows that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
They know that the more difficult they make it, the more difficult it is, the chances are that they may not have to pay anything.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Absolutely.
Litigation, too, I think it's the same thing. It happens, I think, in litigation also.
Yeah,
they just drag it out and they drag it out and they drag it out. And they're just
even
like
their attorneys, OC drags it out too. A lot of these, opposing counsel, they're not in-house counsel. They're also getting paid, on an hourly basis. So I feel like they also drag that out to raise their bill. They don't care that it's going to raise up everybody else's premiums, if that were a factor. They're also billing the insurance company. So I feel like, I don't know, there should be more accountability on their end with OC and these litigation files to not drag these files out.
Yeah.
I think there's an interest obviously for them there too.
Unnecessary depositions. Completely unnecessary depositions.
I've been doing so many lately.
I love them. I like depositions.
You do? I hate them.
Really?
That's a waste of time, man.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Why are you writing up the baseboards? Why are you writing up texture?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you think, motherfucker?
Like, who's the
And who are
damages
you?
expert here?
Yeah,
Like,
who are you? You're an attorney with a suit on. What do you know about damages?
exactly. I don't tell you anything about the law, right?
Right.
So don't fucking
Go, please. Fuck,
don't
shit,
question me
fuck.
about the
I don't think
damages.
there's any kids listening. I don't think they would, especially not this far.
I'm an expert in the damages. Do not question me as to the damages.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, but it's part of their tactic, you know, to, like I said, to drag it out as long as they can.
no, but you know what I'm doing? Because they're also requesting it from the rest of the guys and girls.
For the same claim?
No, for their claims.
Okay.
Since they're becoming more frequent, I'm gonna start recording me so they can, because I'm not gonna say I'm an expert. Is it deponent or whatever it is?
Deposer,
Deponent? Is that a
deponent.
word?
I guess?
What's the word? I don't know what the word is.
Depositioner.
Depositioner.
I don't know.
Yeah, executioner. Whatever it is. But I've been tweaked here and there, right? Like I have some experience, so I'm gonna start recording myself so they can watch it and then implement the same.
Edgar's gonna start
tactics.
giving them some acting classes. He's an actor
Yeah.
now. He's an actor.
Really?
Oh, speaking of, we have to review something later. I just
What,
remembered.
about acting?
No, so we filmed a commercial recently. Yeah,
Nice.
it hasn't aired yet, but we got those clips we requested.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for you to review.
I really liked
Sorry.
I was just watching the 5-year anniversary video. That looked pretty cool. I want to finish it. And I really liked the one you did with the real estate house.
Oh.
This house could be yours. So I'm like, damn, Edgar, you pulled it off.
Oh, wait till you see this commercial. On,
Oh man.
It's gonna be a big Spanish network
Nice.
soon.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Monarch Claims has a tremendous YouTube channel. Okay, the quality of it is excuse my Miamian, but off the chain. I think it's great. People need to subscribe to your channel. I don't understand why there's not more subscribers on your channel, because I think it's a phenomenal channel. And you guys interview some really interesting guests too. It's not like boring like mine about claims.
Yeah. Right.
It's mostly about claims.
Because I like claims.
But I think it's really good. I think it's great. You got amazing production, and I don't think I thanked you yet about letting us use your little studio here. But I think it's great.
Thank you.
What are your plans for that?
For the YouTube channel?
Wait, do you want to talk about that over there?
I'll let you guys have mine.
Believe it or not, even though we've been doing it for a while, we kind of just we're testing the waters still. Like, we don't know what direction we're taking it. And in reality, the purpose behind it is to inform. And that's it.
Educate,
As of now.
I think you guys need
Educate. Correct.
I think you guys need to figure out who your target is.
It's everybody.
That's not a
It's-
good target.
No, I know, but
That's
ideally,
not going to get you
if-
subscribers.
if
I understand,
you're- yeah.
but you
No.
need to figure out who your target is. You need to figure out like a niche. That's what I was telling him. Dude, what's your name? I forgot. Pat, I'm sorry. That's what I was telling Pat over here, was that there needs to be like, so one thing that we've done, sometimes this is with another company I had, but we'll create a specific customer, our target customer. We'll put a face to it.
Yeah.
We'll put like their job application. We'll put like their status, how much money they make, how many kids they have, if they're married, if they're single, stuff like that. Once you have like a target, who you want, it's going to be a lot easier when you create videos and you create things, because that's who you're going after.
Exactly. Yeah, right now we're just interviewing and seeing kind of where we want it to go, but we really haven't discovered what the niche is.
You know what it is though? It's like we're all like doing so many things, because at the end of the day, let's face it, it's about claims too. You
Yeah.
know, we need to focus on our claims.
Yeah.
That's
And that's what it revolves on, on mostly.
Contractors might be a good niche. Contractors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi-
Something to think about.
Hialeah could be a good
Hi,
niche.
Leah.
No.
Now when we're on the Spanish.
And yeah, there's like a spot right there that we're, cutting out from the,
Tell me about the Spanish thing. What's going on there?
Oh, it's just a commercial.
It's a commercial.
Yeah, it's a commercial starring
that was
Edgar.
interesting.
Why was it interesting? You look so like you're getting like all red, man.
'Cause it's hard for me to act. I'm not
But it's not acting. It's
you have to a certain extent. You have to,
big
act.
camera ready.
You know what? People always just like, Vince, like you're always like, I'm still myself, but you have to be, when you're on these things, you have to be yourself. You do have to go a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's not. I wouldn't call it acting though.
Yeah, but
No,
for me, that's difficult. Like, you do an amazing job, like how you start your videos, the energy. For me to in a sense fake that is a little hard. If
It's
I'm
not
not feeling
fake.
that
I
way,
think
I
it's-
can't.
You got to be excited about what you're doing,
Yeah.
and then that's when the excitement comes.
I'm excited about crushing insurance companies. I can't really film that.
Think
so.
about
It's just
that
kind of
before you get on
portraying
it.
that, like transmitting that. That's what I was saying. Like transmitting that is the.
And think about right
the hard
before who are you helping, who are you targeting, who are you talking to, and what you're going to be doing to help these people. That if you are able to come across with that message, you're going to be getting more clients that you could help out and crush the insurance company.
Yeah.
You're
giving me things to think about.
You see, you should see how I don't do like a whole warm up, but I'm just like, all right, here we go, ready? And then I go and I do it, and then I usually mess up in the first 5 seconds. I'm like, fuck, that shit sucked.
You do it live or pre-recorded?
I do everything pre-recorded.
Okay.
Most of the stuff I film, the only thing I film with a camera is the YouTube stuff, the YouTube where I'm just in front of the camera and it's just me teaching, and everything else I do on my phone. I set it up usually like on top of the grill or on top of some table with a cup holding it or something like that, and I just watch myself and then I just go. I am lucky that I'm able to like usually knock it out in one shot.
Yeah, that's another problem that I have.
Whenever I record myself, I do it like 12 times,
That's
and then
not
I'm
good,
like,
yeah.
and then I hate all of them.
Yeah, because usually what happens is it gets worse. It gets worse with every time. Yeah, but I got Milan. Milan's my Serbian assassin, I call him. He's my marketing director. And I call him the puppet master now. God, Milan, you're so annoying. He's always like, Vince, today I need a video about this. Vince, today I need a video about this. Vince, I want a story about this. Vince, I want an actual post about this. And it's just like, it becomes a lot.
Yeah.
I think the more you do it, probably the better you get. But I don't know.
I apologize if we're like all over your feed all the time. If my big fat face is all over your feed. I know it is, but
we enjoy it.
Another thing is obviously that I like to do is training. And one thing I've noticed on your channel, on your YouTube channel, on Instagram and stuff like that, is the weekly meetings that you guys have with your adjusters.
Correct.
That's badass.
Those are up in the.
No, we've shared some stuff on stories and stuff about that.
Well, okay. Actually, before I get into that,
not the actual meetings, right?
here's what I really, really love is that you've got adjusters that have their name and then Monarch.
Yeah.
On their Instagram
awesome.
handle.
That shows me that those people are proud about who they work for. It's not just like it's not just like Vince Public Adjuster. It's Vince_Monarch. That's really cool. Yeah, so the reason why I know about the meetings is because people who are in the meetings, they'll post a quick video. You should see some of the things that I've seen.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
Now I'm concerned.
But I think that's awesome.
Yeah, we have weekly. Well, we have bi-weekly PA meetings and then bi-weekly staff meetings. So it alternates.
Yeah. And every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have a morning call where we all jump in and just kind of hash out some issues or whatever. Anybody that's having an issue with a claim, we'll go ahead and talk about it in a team setting. So, and I think that's been helping a lot.
Yeah.
Because not everybody has something to say, but whoever does can learn, or the other people learn from that instance.
And how is it like interaction? Like everybody's just like...
It's over the phone.
It's a Zoom call. It's an early morning Zoom call. Because before what's happening is like everybody would come to Edgar, or, somebody would go to one person, and either one, it was consuming too much of one person's time, and two, it was not beneficial to the others who didn't have the issue, or if you bring it up every other week when you have a PA meeting. So this way, there's a dedicated time where they can, ask him or anybody else on the call for help, advice, but then everybody else benefits from that scenario, from that example. So
yeah.
Tell me about the PA meeting that you do like on the bi-weekly. That's fascinating to me. Like with your adjusters, is it? And I'm asking because we're in the process of hiring PAs now. Next month we're going to do like a whole thing. We're going to put a thing out and look for public adjusters, and I'm going to have a weekly meeting with my guys too, and girls. I'm sorry, I want to talk about female public adjusters too, by the way. Don't let me forget that. Is the meeting more claims oriented? And if there's anything that you don't want to talk about, just let me know. But is it more like claims, geared towards claims and the life of the claim and the process and making sure you do this and blah, 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 blah? Or is it towards like sales, getting leads and stuff like that?
It's a mix of everything. Every meeting is different, but I think it's mostly like processes.
That's awesome.
Processes, reiterating, either presenting new, or implementing new things, or reiterating, processes already in place that we've seen maybe deficiencies in. Sometimes specific cases, if something happened on a particular case, we'll use it as an example, to help others.
That's awesome.
Yeah, mostly claim related stuff. We do, try to help them get more claims, but that's not the focus.
That's
focus
fantastic.
Is, trying to figure out how do we become more efficient? How do we close claims faster? How do we close claims for more? So
talk about everything, anything that's important.
It's like what I was talking about. when you find out that one of your guys signed like a bunch of claims 6 months ago and nothing's been, that's every.
We also have other processes in place for that. We have a lot of processes in place, but we use those meetings just to maybe remind the adjusters of what they already need to be doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Public adjusters do not understand, especially new public adjusters. Everybody thinks it's about sign. So I like that you guys are focused on, hey, you know what? You can sign as many claims as you want, but if they don't get paid, you don't get paid.
Exactly.
And it's not just getting paid. I know that's the end goal, but honestly, there's so many other things that go into it, and especially like the service, like the client, and that's something that we talk about in our staff meetings and our PA meetings is the customer service. Always like, staying on top of, staying on top of the claim, keeping the client informed. So yeah, the end goal is the money and getting the claim settled, but everything in between is also equally important to us.
You said processes. Do you guys write
many
everything
processes.
down?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Because I'm in the process of doing that. Of processes. Do you guys have like a huge like manual? Like, is there like a big thing?
So we have like a manual for the PAs, which we actually had a meeting today about a new process.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're always improving them. And that's something we tell all of our staff. Everybody who works here knows like they have to be able to adapt and to change, because we're always changing things for the better. Not because they don't work, but we find a way, and we always find a way to make things better. So we're always adapting and making changes to the process.
Okay, I'm gonna pry a little bit. Again, you stop me whenever you want. But like, is it like on a Word document? Is it like on some kind of like special software that you have it? Because I'm in the middle of it. I've got everything on a Word document. We use Google for everything. Everything's G Suite. We've got all our processes. I kind of separated into like a field adjuster, desk adjuster kind of role, which is just basically it's really the same thing. But we have a process on once you get the referral, the questions you should ask on the facts of law, scheduling a time, walking into the house, looking for the damage, where to look for the damage, how to spot different things, how to read the policy. It's kind of what I do in my course too, but that's for like the PAs that go out to sign the claim, and then what they have to do to submit the claim to our staff, which is the desk adjuster. But then the desk adjuster also has a process of calling in the claim, sending an initial letter, sending our LOR, so on and so forth. Is that sort of like...
It's similar. We don't... so you have an inside adjuster. So the person that signs your claims doesn't handle the claims?
Yes. The person who signs the claim handles the claims, but we have an inside adjuster who does a lot of the follow-up. We'll put the POL together once the estimate comes in.
Is that a PA as well? Sorry to cut
yes,
you off.
also a PA.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of the same process. I guess we call it differently. We have a different system, but we have the PAs, and then we have our administrative assistants.
Right.
Who handle... I guess sort of like what your desk
exactly.
Yeah. So they have a different manual. So we have something where the PA starts and ends, and then we have something where the administrative starts and ends.
So is the manual in a Word document?
Yes,
or is it
it's
like...
a Word document.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I'm old
so
school,
it's not too complicated. Yeah. It's just a process.
Yeah.
Do you have it printed out too, and you have like a whole book and everything?
I printed out once and binded it and made it look all pretty, but then we realized it was kind of like a waste of paper. So now it's just like a...
People do not understand the importance of policies and procedures, of SOPs.
Yeah. And more importantly, I think the ones that put those policies and procedures in place also need to know how to enforce them. And that's something that we're actually working on now. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times the answer to the questions that the staff has or the PAs, whatever it may be, it's in those books already, right? And
it took
the guidelines.
Many hours and
people won't go through
knowledge to put this together, and then people ask you a question that's like in
correct.
There.
And you're like, dude, look at the thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're going to start doing. So people come and we'll, by, out of instinct, to just answer the question. So now we're shifting that, so like direct them back to the manual.
That's awesome. So I just finished a book called Rocket Fuel. And now I'm reading the second book of it. It's called Traction.
Somebody else recommended me that book.
It was probably me. It was probably me.
I think so. It might have
been. And it talks about, was it Rocket Fuel? I'm sorry. No, it was the E-Myth. The E-Myth is the entrepreneurial myth. And the myth of the entrepreneurial myth is that the bigger you grow, the more work you have to do. Like the more you have to put in the work. But anyway, it talks about if you are able to basically turn your business into its own product. For example, not that you would ever want to sell it or anything, but yeah, that is that is kind of the idea. Let's say 10 years down the road, you have something in place and you could just basically say, what was the name again? I forgot. Pat, here is our business. And Pat, who's not a public adjuster, could just say, okay, look, this is a successful business. How do I run this business? And packages look at it, and just based on the manual and based on it, he could start running the business just like that. It helps because, you know, the more policies and procedures you have in place, the more you actually have time to be creative about other things.
Exactly.
Starting new ventures, starting new stuff like that. And it's what separates the good companies from the bad.
Yeah. And in addition to working with supervising adjusters now, like I told you, we're also restructuring a little bit more so that more people have more specific tasks, including myself, and I'm able to do what I think I'm the best at, right? And then let somebody else, like for example, continue to expand the business, or so that's something. All of that is taking place as we speak, because
it's all brewing right now.
We're at that point where like the little company mentality is not really working for us anymore. So now we need to think
I
a little
agree.
bigger.
I've been telling my people, I'm like, I should not be going out signing a lot of these claims. I should not be going out to some of these inspections. Like, it's just kind of a waste of my time, because at this point I need to be doing, I don't know, other things, especially like networking too is very important. Sometimes we get so involved inside of it. We need to go out and network as well, especially as the owners of a company.
Yeah.
That's badass.
But you need to have those things in place so that when you grow and expand, you don't have those, growing pains, because you already took care of that in advance.
Yeah.
See, this is another thing that we might be having a conference call. I don't want all your secrets, but I might be picking your brains. But this is why I wanted to have the podcast with you guys. I find you guys very interesting. I find your company very interesting. And I think it's awesome. I think you guys got a pretty well-oiled machine. Maybe not yet, but right, you're still working on it. And like I said, I mean, I think 5 years already is very impressive and it's really cool that when you said policies and procedures, that's it. I knew that I made the right decision of doing this podcast.
Thank you.
It's awesome. I don't know what else.
Work in progress, but we're getting better every day.
Do you guys have a process on your biweekly meetings? Is there is there a structure to the meeting?
There's a PowerPoint. So we gather in between meetings, which is 2 weeks. Anything that comes up, anything that's relevant, that's important, that can wait for a meeting. If it's something urgent, then Edgar will put out a message or something, on one of our chats. But usually we gather and share topics or things that we think that are important, feedback that we get from our staff or from other adjusters, and then our director of operations puts together a PowerPoint. And then
and something we're going to start doing again that we were doing for a while was that our apprentices, we would have them pitch the contract to us, the PA contract.
Like a mock sign up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then they would do it, and then everybody would give them what's it called?
Feedback. So it would be in advance. Like this PA, be like, okay, this week you're gonna be the PA, and then we would choose somebody to be the homeowner, right? Which is another PA. And then, so they'd have time. It wasn't like on the spot, they'd have time to prepare, understand, read the contract. And then during the meeting, they had a little bit of time, to present. And then that PA who's pretending to be the homeowner would ask those difficult questions that homeowner would ask. So it kind of makes them uncomfortable, but in a comfortable setting where you have, your peers giving you feedback, helping you answer those questions.
Is this after the referrals there, or is it a door-to-door thing?
No, this is at a lead that not door-to-door.
That's also good to train though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. We don't do a lot of door-to-door.
Me neither.
What we've done, we haven't been great at it. I think, at least for me, I don't have that salesy approach that's necessary for that. I forgot where I was going with that.
Door-to-door.
I'm not a good salesperson, but I'm a good closer. If that makes any sense. That door-to-door, or selling something or being pushy. I'm not good at being pushy, but if you let me in your house, I'm probably 99% going to walk out of there with a contract.
I think the three of us are actually identical with that. I think I'm better at, like I told you guys, I think earlier, I'm better at building relationships with people. I'd rather build a relationship with a contractor, build a relationship with just different professionals, and then my referrals will come eventually. That's kind of like you guys do it, right? But I've also learned that through this, because I get messages from just all different kinds of PAs, there are PAs that really enjoy the door-to-door. That's what they like, and that's what they're good at. They've got pitches, they've got answers to certain rejections. So I'm not interested. There's a follow-up to that. That'd be kind of some cool. You might have some PAs in here that would like to go out door-to-door. Keeps them busy, keeps them moving. You never know, especially after a storm.
We've done it after a storm. After a storm, especially in the Panhandle and stuff, we have done it. We have PAs that have done it.
Louisiana too.
So after a storm, yeah, but just like randomly, just just me personally, I don't. It's not something
I did it
enjoy.
once in Hialeah because that's where my
And that's where you got all your
the
clients.
best chances of.
Yeah, for sure.
And we only got one. It was like,
yeah.
10 PAs.
He got
hitting the
one
street.
lead and 12 cafecitos.
For sure.
I don't want, but you want some coffee? I just made some.
I got offered cafecito 3 times today. That doesn't happen in Tampa.
We can make you some cafecito when we're done.
I think I probably want one.
Wait. What happened to the champagne? The whiskey?
Bro, I don't know. You know,
want me to roll it out? I can roll it out.
No, it's okay. It's okay. What did I want? Oh, so in the book Rocket Fuel, they have an outline. It's called a level 10 meeting. You should look at it. And the idea is that if you follow this process, at the end of the meeting, everybody actually rates the meeting. Everybody goes around and they rate whether on a scale of 1 to 10 on what the meeting is. And if you do the whole meeting correctly and you follow it to a T, everybody's supposed to give it a level 10.
Okay.
Gotcha. After we did a workshop here, and we did that. After the workshop, we kind of did a anonymous survey, and yeah.
No 10s?
That was interesting.
No, yeah, you see that. I mean, that tells you, like, you know how your
That
meetings
tells
are
us
really.
we never did it again.
Yeah. Well, you should do it because then maybe you could get better. You know, I don't know. It's all about getting better.
At the expense of other
Yeah.
people suffering.
Yeah. But I really like how you guys do that. Definitely not a fly-by-night public adjusting firm. You guys are in it to win it.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
We're all about first putting the client first.
Yeah.
That's the first thing for us. And everybody wants to grow, right? But we want to do it organically. We want to do it the right way. We're not trying to get from here to the billions overnight. So, and that says a lot because we're willing to take our time and do things right. That I think that this business lends itself for the opposite, for people that just want to make a quick buck and get out. And those are the people that give us the bad name.
Absolutely.
Right? So, yeah.
And those are the people we don't want in our business.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, those are the people that give us the bad names, and it's also the insurance companies that exploit those people to make sure that these are the only public adjusters there are. These are the ones that are doing, and it's just like, no, wait, there's actually good public adjusters out there. That's why I love the meetups that we started doing. Is the groups that we get? It's all the good PAs. Like it's awesome how we all just get together, talk shop. You guys coming to Jacksonville or what?
I'm not, man.
You just looked at me dead in the eye like, I am
because
not.
Amy,
He's like, no.
Amy that handles the social media.
Yeah.
She told me about it. I'm like, yes, I saw it, but it's in Jacksonville. Like,
Yeah, we gotta. Everybody's
5 hours.
begging for me to do one here in Miami. We're gonna do one again in
yes, or Broward.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's
West
2 hours,
Palm, that's
Miami. I love it. People from Miami don't like to drive longer than 30 minutes.
because everywhere you go is longer than 30 minutes with traffic. So like when you mention
You have no
5
idea.
hours
I've been
working
doing the GPS here, and I just forgot. It's so funny because in Tampa, if something is, I don't know, 5 miles away, it's like 5 minutes away. Here, it's 30 minutes away for 5 miles. It's crazy. It's not just the traffic; it's also the light every other street.
well, for me it's the traffic because there's no lights on the turnpike.
You know why I was late today, right?
Traffic.
Freaking this 120th Street is the worst.
Yes, that was
Crazy, yeah.
horrible this morning.
God. And then 127th, I don't know, there's the avenue right before.
The one where you get off on the turnpike, what is that?
120th.
Oh, that was horrible. Like I kept going, turn around, made a U-turn, and then made a right. Because if you wait for that left there, I mean, you're either going to be there for an hour and you might get T-boned, from somebody.
Yeah, because there's no light.
There's an arrow,
Well,
but
the
everybody
light-
just takes the arrow and it's like, oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
I think Miami driving has been voted the worst in the country several times. And rudest drivers. In Tampa,
Sure.
When you leave a parking lot or you leave like a gas station or whatever, the cars will stop to allow you to go onto the road.
And here they're like purposely like drive you off the road.
And when
just
you
to-
put your blinker on, they will like slow down so that you can change lanes. It's
Setting your blinker.
oh yeah, here you cannot put your blinker on.
no,
If you
they'll
put-
accelerate.
Yes,
You got to just cut them off.
exactly.
crazy.
You guys are located where besides Florida?
Or
So-
licensed.
Licensed. Yeah, licensed, not located, I guess, licensed.
Louisiana, Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, and there's another
Georgia.
Georgia.
Get ready.
And
Do
Nevada
you
too, didn't
Where?
Nevada? Isn't
Albee.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he's finalized it
no?
yet.
Okay. Oh,
do
or
you
soon
have
to be.
your do you have your SOPs ready for the different policies and the different coverages?
No, we do not. We do not.
It's a
We're
different
actually
process,
getting-
man. I got claims in Texas right now that I'm like, I'm like waiting to make the next step, and I'm like, let me ask this guy, because in Florida I got it down, but like it's just different.
Well, it's kind of like one of those things that you roll with the punches, right? So we're licensed in those states. In Louisiana, we're pretty active. In Texas, we have a few claims. We actually, remember I spoke to you recently and I told you we hadn't signed anything?
Yeah.
Finally got a few in.
I think you were out there when we spoke to you.
Yeah.
Was I?
I think so.
Or you had come back.
I think I'd come back.
But since we're not like full blown into these states yet, we're
Right.
kind of just, taking it as it comes.
That's where the door-to-door comes in.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
no,
pretty brutal.
that's the only way that we were able to get claims in those. Actually, no, in Texas, it was through a
Water
contractor.
mitigation. Yeah, contractor, water mitigation company,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's hard, the out-of-state stuff. Do you have guys there? Do you have people there?
No,
They
we
come
have,
and go.
Yeah, we have.
That's
people-
the hard part, is
Yeah.
when they schedule a re-inspection, it's like, because you need somebody there. You need to have a body there.
Yeah.
And to make a flight just for an inspection, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, what we do is, since we have claims in Louisiana as well, if somebody has a claim in Louisiana, we'll try to put it together with somebody else's claims. Like an adjuster will assign a claim to, I don't know, Alex will assign it to Ricky, and then Ricky takes care of all those claims on his trip, so that not both of them are going back and forth.
Gotcha.
So we help each other like that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, I think we've established you guys got a nice family atmosphere.
Yeah.
yeah, but it wouldn't hurt to have somebody local, which is something that we're looking into
Yeah,
as well.
I'm looking into that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially as you expand and you have more claims, more people there. Than
How many adjusters do you guys have now?
21. We actually were
What?
reviewing that today.
Yeah.
That is
21,
22.
right? 22.
22,
Sorry,
yeah.
22.
That's a lot of adjusters.
22 adjusters. Yeah.
Wow. You guys said you were incorporating something that I found pretty interesting. Do you want to share that or no?
The supervising adjuster.
Yeah. Not
What
really.
do you think?
No, it's fine. You don't have to.
This won't air.
Why not?
Yeah.
Of course it's going to air.
Oh no, I'm saying not yet. Like we'll probably get to establish that before. Yeah, so just something we're gonna
It's
try
a
out. We
concept.
won't say it's a concept. We won't
It's a
say much,
concept.
but and we actually have in place. So it's not a secret. We have supervising adjusters right now in place where they supervise not just apprentices but the newer PAs that still need to learn the ropes, and they get to shadow them, review their claims with them, their documents. So we're looking to expand that concept of supervising adjusters. Well, that's all I'll say.
I don't think you have to hold much back, because I'm pretty sure after this podcast airs, you're gonna have like people wanting to come work here.
Hey, look, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because we are looking for more people to join the team, but we're being extremely, extremely selective with the people that come
Let's
in.
talk about that.
So, yeah, and you don't have to have a lot of qualities. You don't have to have a lot of knowledge.
But you have to be a right fit.
Yes.
Right fit. You have to have the right mindset. You have to have the right drive. There are certain values there that you have to come with that will qualify you to be able to.
Do you guys have core values?
We do.
Not official,
got
not
core
written
values,
ones,
yeah.
but unspoken ones, and
Put them on paper.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have them. I just don't
Put them on paper.
I have them. I had to do an exercise for a course that I was doing, and I have them.
Okay.
I don't have them in front of me.
Yeah, put them on paper, and whenever somebody comes in, obviously they go through whatever hiring process, but they need to understand what the core values of your company are.
No, and the hiring has to be based upon those core values. Like we have to ask
Absolutely.
questions that have to do with those core values.
Do you give any kind of assessments? We do.
Assessments for what? Sorry.
Like personality assessments, strengths, weaknesses, stuff like that. How they are at work, how they are at home.
Well, we have a pretty thorough interview, with them, and one of the things that we look for in anybody that we hire, staff, PAs, or anybody, is that they're the right fit, for our culture, our company, and those core values that we know what they are, but they're not written. We know what we're looking for, and when we interview or meet someone, we know if that person will be a right fit for the team, regardless of their experience. Just as long as they are trainable, adaptable, and have the drive and what we're looking for, those are the qualities we look for more than experience or prior knowledge.
That's awesome. We
should
give
put it all on paper.
You got to put it on paper for sure, and let them know. Do you give them any new adjuster that comes in? Do you give them a period of a trial, a 1 month,
Is
3
he
month?
Am
I asking too many questions? I'm sorry.
No, were you listening to us today?
No,
because
no,
we're
'cause we discussed all of
literally
these things
had a
today.
meeting earlier today about this,
I think
and we're
it's-
implementing that. So we're wait.
I think it's funny because I think you guys have been in it for 5 years. So just to give you a quick background on me, I've been an adjuster for almost 14 years, but I always worked for Key Biscayne Claim Adjusters until about 4 months ago. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, really? No, we didn't know that.
Right. So I worked for Century Adjusting year 1, and then I worked for, I wasn't ready after I left. After 1 year, I wasn't ready to start my own firm. So my thing was, all right, I'm going to work. I found a buddy of mine worked for Key Biscayne Claim Adjusters, and I was like, I'll work for Key Biscayne for about 1 or 2 years, and then I'll do my own thing. I mean, after working with Richard, he was the owner. He's still the owner. I mean, it was like a match made in heaven. He was a mentor to me, big brother to me, and 1 or 2 years ended up being 12.
Yeah.
But then now he's got another business venture going, and I decided, hey, I've got this commercial claims advocate thing going. Yeah. I've always had Elite Resolutions, which is my company, but I was paid through my company. And I just told him, I said, I think it's time. He's like, absolutely, it's totally time. So just 4 months ago, I went on my own. But now that we have Commercial Claims Advocate as its own business, and we've got Elite Resolutions, Commercial Claims Advocate is obviously more education. We've got courses, membership, stuff like that. Elite Resolutions is the claim side, and I'm in the process of doing all this. I'm in the process of doing the policies and procedures. I just wrote down my core values. I've got assessments that I give any new employee that comes. We've got 4 employees now and 2 adjusters. But I want to make sure that when I bring on new adjusters that I've got a process in place, which is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's why I'm talking about this.
And that's exactly what we're implementing now. Like today, we actually met about this for the new. Well, we kind of had a process in place, but we're tweaking that, and we're including assessments. It was on paper, like the training, but it's more formal now. It's more. There are going to be assessments and other things. Yeah.
So we use a culture index as our first assessment that we give. If they sort of get past the first process, which is basically going to be myself and my administrative assistant, because she's the one who's going to be working directly with them, then we'll give them the Clifton Strength Finder, which tells you their top 50, or is it top 20? I think it's top 50 character strengths. Your top 10 is basically who you are, and then as you get lower, it's becomes your weaknesses and stuff, and it could be anything from harmony, consistency, positivity, learner, all kinds of stuff. And then if they do well with that and they're starting to fit in, then we may, depending on the role, we give them what's called a CCAT, which actually measures their intelligence and their willingness to learn new things. So if it's an administrative role, I
need to write all these things.
You have a pen and paper right there. You can write it down. Everything starts with the culture index.
How about this?
I think we should all help each other. Yeah.
You show me yours and I'll show you mine.
Never mind.
I don't know. I'm embarrassed. Yeah. I don't know. Not right now.
I was going to say, I'll just watch.
Wow. Look at that. There it is. And we haven't even had a drink yet, ladies and gentlemen.
What was the second culture index? CCAT was one in between.
The CCAT was for the intelligence, and the one of the most important ones, I would say, it's Clifton Strength Finder. Now the Clifton Strength Finder.
Clifton Notes.
Yeah, I don't know. The Strength Finder, that costs $50 each time you do it. So that's why you want to do that more, I guess, towards the middle to the end when you have a good idea that this is who you want, and then you give them that, and that just sort of solidifies who
do
you
do this in the interviewing process, or once they're on board,
So what we're going to do, and again, I'm acting like I've established it. We're still in the process, but what I'm going to do
speak it into existence.
Exactly. Starting next month, once we put out a video, we're going to introduce the logo, which nobody even knows this, but that's our logo.
Oh, nice.
That looks good.
Right?
It's a shield.
Yeah.
It's a shield.
What wasn't the name?
Elite Resolutions. The idea is that these things, it's abstract. It's, in my opinion, water, fire, lightning, whatever, stuff like that.
It's nice. I like it. I like the colors.
What was I going to say? So I'm going to have them fill out an application. That's going to be number 1. And to me, you know what I don't want to do? I don't want to hire adjusters with full-time jobs.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about that, but yeah, look at Sorry, don't say anything. And that's for me. With full-time other jobs, at least part-time, And that's probably going to be one thing. And then the next thing will be, as soon as they fill out the application, we'll review the application. If they pass that part, first thing, before I even talk to them, culture index. Just like that. Because I feel culture index, and I'll show you guys after the show, it's got A, B, C, and D. Your A is actually your autonomy. You're willing to just sort of go out there, social. It's usually sales guys and stuff like that. Your D is your attention to detail. So what you want is your administrative person, you might want to have a low A, high D. But your public adjuster, you're going to want them to be more high A, and low D is okay, or somewhere around the middle. But anyway, that's how first thing is culture index. So yes, and then I will speak to them if I like them after that. And that's when I think what I'm going to do is explain to them what our core values are, what we're all about, so on and so forth. And yeah, I would like to give them a 1 or 3 month Like, hey, this is just to see how this
think
goes.
Either, I don't know, he was a fly in the wall this morning.
I think great minds think
I
alike.
think you pocket dialed, like butt dialed him, and he was in the meeting with us. But yeah, we'll talk about that after the podcast.
I think great minds think alike. I think that's what it is. You know.
You know what it is? We all think with the right side of the brain.
Because we're all left-handed.
Yeah. Everybody else thinks with the wrong side.
Dude,
wrong
that's
side.
crazy. You know that 90% of the population is right-handed, right?
Yeah, we're 10%, and all three of us here. are
That's
part of
so
the
weird.
10%. Oh, you're lefty too? No way.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
This is
That-
weird.
Yeah. 4 lefties in one room.
And there's no one else in the room.
And there's nobody else. That's crazy. 100% of us in here
That is
are part of
crazy.
that 10%. That's crazy. I didn't know Pat was a lefty too.
Damn, Pat.
That's gonna be one of our. I'm gonna start. Are you a lefty? Or
must
righty?
be a lefty.
No, you must be a lefty to work with us.
That's it. Do you guys have... I want to talk about... You got to go?
No. Sorry.
What are you looking at your watch for, man?
Oh, it was just a message.
We need more female public adjusters.
I agree.
Yeah, we do.
How many female public adjusters do you guys have?
We have 4
Three.
now.
3.
No,
Oh,
4.
4. Yes.
Yuly, Becky, Sophie,
Edgar,
myself.
don't forget.
No, I never forget.
There's
It's-
4.
You know, things
It's Friday, man.
blend in a little bit.
It's 4.
It's 4. I think we need more. I think females could really excel in this industry.
They already do. I mean,
No, I know.
mess with her.
I know, but I mean, we've got our YouTube numbers, we've got analytics and stuff like that. It's like 95% guys. It's ridiculous. At least who follow my channel. I don't know. Maybe it's just my ugly face or something like that. There's no girls, but you know.
Well, maybe not now.
Now because we have you, because you're here, I think it's gonna get worse. No, yeah. I mean, I just think because the way I think the position itself, helping others, listening to their problems, listening to their issues, coming to a house after usually a severe event has occurred, I think there's certain men who are. I personally am good at it. I know how to sympathize with the person, but I just think I think women could do a hell of a job in that role.
Yeah, and we already are. Some of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to definitely make an effort to hire some female public adjusters. And even at the
You should.
meetups, we don't have that many females.
Well, the next time we have one in Miami, we'll make sure to bring
Yuly, you need to
Some
be
of
the advocate for more female public adjusters.
female
That could be the niche.
female claim advocate.
Ah,
Pat,
see?
Pat, that's your job, buddy. You got to go after the female public adjusters, my friend. There's got to be a lot of them out there.
We run into recently we went on inspection where the engineer, the contractor, they were all females, and I was there with another female.
I was the only guy.
and he was the only guy.
What?
Yeah.
But not the only lefty.
Nope.
True. Luckily.
That's awesome.
Now you
That's
know
awesome.
how we feel when we show up, and actually I don't feel any kind of way.
I didn't
No, when I
feel any kind of.
especially if I go if I drive my husband's truck, I love that. Like I pull up in the truck and they're waiting, and then I step out and I'm like,
Oh, that's
"What?"
hilarious.
Like they're so mind boggled. Like, what? You're the adjuster? Or on the phone, they'll ask you, "What can I speak to the adjuster?" I can't. I have to discuss with the adjuster. I'm like,
I'm
I
the
am
adjuster. It's so crazy the things that we don't realize that women have to go through.
It doesn't bother me though. I'm not.
No.
offended. I enjoy it. Like
I can imagine, but I just think it's funny. Like, for instance, if you were to work here late in the office till like 12 o'clock at night, we don't care when we walk out to our car. We don't even think about it. A woman thinks twice about that. Yes or
Well,
no?
I think twice because it's dark as hell down.
Come on, Edgar. What happened to your CrossFit, bro? Get out of here.
Yeah, my CrossFit is nothing
It's
against the
not
gun.
bulletproof.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But am I right or wrong? I mean, it's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
true.
Sometimes.
The day when we went to that inspection, I felt completely out of
felt out of
place.
place?
Well, and not because I was surrounded by women, but because I was white. Like you don't need me. Like,
But that's how women feel every day. No?
you all look good.
Not really. No, not to be honest. No. I mean, I know this whole feminist movement thing, whatever. I feel like I can do everything, probably not everything that a man can do, but I don't want to. I don't want to. Like, yeah, I know if I had to do it, I'll either do it, I'll get it done. Somebody will do it for me, but I don't want to. I don't want to do everything that a man does.
She's a Miami girl, bro. You
Yeah,
see?
it's
So
like-
you got to do that shit for
Be
me.
smart.
Miami, yeah.
It's like, I want to do this. I want to do that. No, I don't. Let them do it. I don't want to change a light bulb. I don't want to build shit. Like, no, you guys do it. I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
So-
I guess I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
So I'm not all about that, feminism thing.
When I do the next meetup in Miami, where should I do it?
The place we went to was pretty good.
No, it can't be. No, so we changed it up a little bit. It's not just like a happy hour thing. It's good. I want it to be education.
Edgar. It's educational.
Jesus,
Oh,
Edgar.
so wait, we can't get lit? I mean, have drinks?
Well, we're gonna get lit, but we're gonna get lit the hour before, during, and then the hour after. But the hour number 2 is gonna be like, for instance, in Jacksonville, we've got a room where there's gonna be open bar, but then also in that room there's gonna be seats, so that we can have presenters in the
What
front.
kind of venue is it?
It's Dave and Buster's.
Oh, okay.
But it's in one of their like big rooms.
Okay, like an event room or something.
Yeah, but it's not just going to be like a bunch of people just walking around. It's going to be like seats. So after it's 6 to 7 is get lit. 7 to 8 is going to be education.
Oh,
and then,
really educational after happy hour.
I don't know. We'll see. And then 8 to 9 get more lit.
Well,
Is
I
there
mean,
like
it's
a-
your event. You know more than me about this 100%. But from an outsider's perspective, if you get lit before the education,
Well, see, we've been learning as we go. So we'll see how this is the first time that we do it like this. So we'll see what happens.
Should do it at the, what's that place the guys go to? Skating? Hot Wheels or something?
Oh God, no. No.
You're lit and skating.
I don't know. We're
That's
thinking
Super
about.
Miami. Are you going to the Win Conference next month?
I think so, but the problem is there's a conference before that in Galveston. Cal Spoon, he's got, I can't remember. Sorry, Cal. I can't remember the name of his conference, but it's the weekend before in Galveston, Texas. These conferences add up, okay?
Yeah.
They're not cheap. You know, even the Windstorm is like 480, 450
475, yeah.
475.
plus the stay.
plus the stay.
Which for you, maybe since you're not too far, right? Tampa?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's like an hour away. Well,
an
I mean, you don't want to drive back. Like,
Yeah, but it's like 2 days, no?
yeah, like
It's-
of the
yeah.
content, yes, it's 2 days.
You know what? You're right. It's only an hour and a half. Yeah, maybe I'll just drive there and
You
back.
just can't do the happy hour. You gotta like,
Oh, that's true. And I like the happy hour.
Yeah.
and that's an expensive Uber ride.
It is an expensive Uber ride. I would not do Uber. No, that wouldn't happen. All right. So are we going to get some drinks or what? Is that going to
So
happen?
I want to roll them out now. Good.
What do you got?
I got anything you want. What do you like to drink?
What do you got there?
Well, champagne for sure. But
Man, I'm glad you guys have your shit together.
yeah,
Because
We try.
I had the
work in
feeling. Well, what
progress.
I had the feeling. That's why, like, I asked you guys. Well, when you helped me with the thing, I found that badass. So that was one thing. But I had a feeling. I just had a feeling. I could just tell, just following your social media stuff, like just the fact that you have meetings and stuff like that. I think is very cool, and I like structure. Structure is like super important
Yeah.
Yeah,
In any
that's
aspect of life.
in any aspect of
Yeah.
life. Another thing that we're doing, which I'd like to invite you guys for, is we're starting expert courses. So not courses. Expert. Did you see my social media yesterday where I was not interviewing, but I was shooting David Farber and I was shooting Mario? What I want to do is you know how I have the YouTube show where it's just me educating about something?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do that every other week. Well, I want once a month to have a guest expert do like their own show. Like it's
Okay.
still my show, but like they do it sort of my format and then they do the show. So if you guys are interested, I'd like to have one of you guys there. No, I want you to do it.
yeah.
Okay,
She's
fine.
great at pitching, so I would. You
It's just
probably
educating something. It's
Yeah.
just educating about something. But I think another thing I want to start doing is really just promoting the good public adjusting firms out there too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. You know.
Are there?
Yeah,
like-
yeah, there are. If you
Yeah.
come to one of my meetups, you'll see.
Yeah.
If they're
will.
not great PA firms yet, they're great PAs,
Yeah.
which I think eventually becomes great PA firms.
Gotcha.
Just the bad ones are the ones
yeah,
giving
they don't care to attend any.
Yeah, that's why as soon as you said, oh, like all the PAs that come to my meetups are great PAs, and I thought to myself, well, they must be because the ones that are bad don't care or don't even take the time to go meet other PAs, or especially not other great PAs.
Yeah, yeah.
They're too self-centered and small-minded to.
Well, and they're the ones that don't. They're not going to take the time to even look at the videos that I put out and some of the education that I do and stuff like that.
But yeah, Yuly would be great for the.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we want to.
How much?
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Thank you for coming.
I'm already making a mess.
Ooh, that's smooth.
Yeah, it's good.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
You should give Pat a mic. Not right now. I'm just saying, like in general, like because he's got some interesting comments over there.
Did you see the one that he? Oh, you did, because I think you liked it. The one that he did at the mall. What is
Oh,
a PA?
yeah,
A public
that was-
adjuster?
Did you watch that?
Or maybe your team liked it.
Which one?
He did one. He did a.
I probably saw it.
So he did this little thing where he went to the mall and just
yes,
randomly
I did see
interviewed
that.
people.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
More of that.
Yeah.
More of that.
Asking people like what if they knew what a public adjuster
That was fantastic. Yeah, more of that.
The more uncomfortable I get while doing something, the better it'll come out.
Sure.
That one was definitely up there on uncomfortableness.
Yeah, I think that's
Reaching random people and just no one wants to talk to you.
yeah.
Wait, like, I'm not even trying to sell them anything.
I know.
Weird.
Yeah, well, that's life, right? The more uncomfortable things you do, the better.
Yeah.
You have to get comfortable feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was really fun.
That was
a good
really
idea,
fun.
Pat.
More of that, Pat. More of
Yeah.
that.
And it was his idea.
Yeah? Nice. No pressure, Pat.
Yeah.
You got to come up with some great ideas, buddy.
I think there was only one aspect that I forgot earlier of the 305 bill, something about advertising, but we don't know the details, right?
Yeah, we don't know the details yet.
There's
Yeah,
something
that's
that's
gonna
going to
suck
affect
too, right?
the
That
advertisement.
Supposedly you can't
You
mention
can't-
insurance and you can't mention damage and
Something, and that's like, you can't do like, I guess we can't do like Google ads.
I'm not sure.
Really,
I haven't seen the specifics of
I
it.
haven't heard about that.
Yeah.
So that's
If
Wow.
it's advertising that's electronic, that means you can't do Google ads. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
When are we gonna get to see like the?
Fabio should be doing a briefing of it.
Yeah, there's something.
We'll see. I think there's a huge problem that insurance companies and the legislature, right, is basically attacking the homeowner and the policyholder rather than attacking the problem, right? And I think the problem mainly is the claims handling practices that insurance companies have in place. Why isn't anybody looking at
Yeah.
that right now?
They're attacking us pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
So why do we have to pay for their mistakes?
I was asked to do a podcast, and they sent the list of topics that they wanted to talk about, and they kept going to insurance fraud, and it was always consumer fraud. And what I told him, it was just like, it's funny. When you say insurance fraud, you automatically think of the policyholder and the consumer. When the three of us deal with on a daily basis, there's sometimes borderline insurance fraud on the insurance company side.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they get away with it.
And they get away with it.
Yeah.
Because they're the big companies, they're the insurance company, and I think people need to realize that the difficulty that how they make our lives very difficult.
Yeah.
And these bills that pass, I think what you just touched on, it doesn't necessarily hurt. They're trying to hurt us when all they're doing is hurting the policyholder.
Yeah.
Right. Through us, because they know that we are the ones educating and advocating for the homeowners. So that's how they get the homeowners. That's how they hurt them. And you know how? They come together. So they all come together against us.
But I think after today that we realize we are going to be coming together. So, I think we could all do it. We could figure it out. One thing, a message I get all the time is, Vince, are you concerned about there not being a PA industry or PAs going away? I have been answering that question for 13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's gotten harder, but we always find a way.
I sent somebody, I was talking with Mario yesterday. Hey, he's like, sent me something about, HB 305 passed. And we were talking about it earlier. I said, you just got to bob and weave. So I started sending him GIFs of like bobbing and weaving and stuff like that. I mean, you just got to keep rolling with the punches.
And I think in a way, I mean, I don't necessarily like the changes, and I just think that it makes it a little harder, but it also makes it so that the strong are the only ones that survive, right?
Absolutely.
And the strong ones, the good ones,
Yes.
those are the ones you
Yeah.
want to have in place.
Yeah.
So in Georgia, they don't have appraisal. In Georgia, they don't have attorney fees and costs. That's the one, in my opinion. We can't lose that. That's pretty important.
Yeah, because after a claim is denied, what are you going to do if the insurer has to hire an attorney, pay you, and
We will have to be honest, we will have to study policy a lot more. I think we obviously we're very experienced, we're very good at what we do, but I think we could also be better at coming up with counter arguments, reading into the policy a little bit more in depth, and the language and the difference
Finding the
between
loopholes.
the difference between an and an or sometimes in a policy.
Yeah.
It's like it makes a huge difference, and I think all of us could get a little bit better. And I think what happens is, I don't even know if I should be saying this in the podcast, but like I think what happens is because we've got that line of defense in the back,
we kind of
I think a little bit sometimes.
yeah, not us, not here.
I settle 90% of my claims.
Yeah. Well, our settlement rate before getting an attorney involved is a little bit lower than that. But we do dive real deep into the policies, and we make counter arguments like hell. Like that's what I love doing. We actually have a folder of templates of all the emails that have been sent and other PA's emails, so you can always pick from those arguments. So yeah, we're the type that we dive deep, and if we don't know, we always ask too. So
yeah, and the reason we have so many or that rate is lower is because we don't take any BS. We don't just sit around the claims if they don't make a coverage determination, and we're not just gonna sit here and wait 6, 7, 8 months.
Correct.
Ultimately,
and we have more importantly, we know what the value of the claim is. It's not based on a percentage. It's not based on.
I know.
Yeah. So
I always
know.
get this percentage of my estimate.
Yeah, big mistake.
I know.
Sure.
And again, there's a process in place for that. There's a process.
So the point is that if we don't get that number or above, we're not going to settle that claim unless the client tells us, guys, like that's
Right.
it.
Ultimately, it's a client's decision.
Ultimately, it's a
under,
client's decision,
our
yes.
But
guidance.
that's something that's why we don't settle most of our claims, because you want to go to litigation.
Well, not most,
We'll do whatever we need
Yeah.
to get to the numbers that the client is owed.
deserves, yeah,
Or deserves.
and is entitled to.
So
Did you guys ever have that? Do you guys ever remember that aha moment where you were just like, you get like a letter or a determination, and you're just like, wait a minute, this is bullshit.
Well, look, I'm going to give you a little
I can argue
testimony of. I'll give you one of the aha moments. It was a claim that was denied. I'm not going to mention the carrier, and so it was denied. We tried to overturn it. The adjuster, field adjuster, who happened to be the examiner as well, said, no, they were not overturning it. The client decided to go to litigation. The day that the client, hires an attorney, we get contacted. But anyway, we get contacted by the carrier saying they're admitting to coverage. So we're like, okay, great. So they opened coverage, went to appraisal. We didn't agree. So it was full-blown denial. Ended up overturning it. They issued an undisputed of $33,000. Went to appraisal. We didn't settle. Went to umpire, and we just got the award last week. It was $119,000.
What?
yeah.
Talk about an aha moment.
That's badass.
$119,000 when they said that claim was denied.
What was the reason for the denial?
Wear and tear.
Yeah.
Wear and tear.
Can you talk a little bit more about how we got from the appraiser to then the umpire and why? The floor. That's the one with the floor, right?
With the floor, yeah.
The one with
So-
the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Good,
it
that's
was
not specific.
it was a tropical storm Ada, and a part of the ceiling collapsed and cracked a tile. So it was a small crack on the tile. They paid the $33,000, did not include the floors. We were claiming the floors.
No, well, they denied it first.
They denied it. But once they admitted to coverage, they paid $33,000, not admitting coverage, for the flooring, which is continuous throughout the whole house. We went back with the appraiser. The appraiser did not include the floors in his estimate.
He did, but he
The appraiser
limited them.
did?
He put it.
That's right. It was a cap. Yeah, I'm sorry.
There was a $10,000
Cosmetic
cap.
So many
damage?
claims.
Wait a
Yes.
minute, but that's
Ten-
not the
Hold
cause
on.
of loss.
$10,000 cosmetic limit on the floors. We went back after the appraiser, took more pictures.
That
This
does not
tile that
apply.
had one crack is now cracked in 3 because now, the foot traffic and they're stepping on it, it's broken. And so then we went to the umpire, and the umpire included, which there's some other.
Well, I don't think that cosmetic damage.
We're still fighting that,
I don't
actually,
think that
by the way.
applies.
Yeah.
No, not in this case, because it was actually.
It's ensuing damage as a result of the wind.
And not only that, also it's not cosmetic. It was preventing the normal functionality of the floor, which is
Right.
one of the requirements for the limit to apply. So the tile was slightly lifted. That's it. Like somebody,
And
it's a
cracked
hazard.
in
Somebody
3
can trip.
parts now, yeah. And we went back during the appraisal process and took more pictures about the state of the tile now. Because when they went, it looked like a, hairline crack. But now, 4, 5, 6 months later, because you denied it and delayed it, and all this, it's not just a hairline crack. Now it's cracked in three parts. So that's an aha moment for sure.
That's awesome. You
Yeah.
see? This is what I'm talking about. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we love those. Like for us,
And we
that's
have
like-
more. We have more of those just, for...
We have huge ones
Yeah.
like that.
We just had
when
another one like that.
When I first started in my career, I would see a denial. I think I told you this earlier, and I'd be like, all right, we gotta go to litigation. All right, whatever. Denial, let's file a lawsuit. Until it was just like, I don't remember, 3 years, 4 years or so. And I was just like, wait a minute. I would actually, I was reading these denials. I'm like, no, that's not right. That's not wear and tear. That's not repeated. This is a sudden and accidental event. It's plain and obvious, Then you got to think of I'm with you. Then you got to get creative with your response and look into the policy, see what you could quote and things like
Right,
that.
and it's not just like, I don't agree. It's like you have to state your facts. Like,
Absolutely.
I didn't agree. In that case, we got the home inspection reports, bunch of other documents to make our argument. It wasn't just, which they had, too, but they're not going to show their cards.
Right.
So, but we were successful.
And because some people think that our 10 or 20% is not worth it. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Those people are stupid.
And if they're smart, if the carriers are smart, and at least with us, they'll know that we'll keep doing that over and over and over again. So it's going to be cheaper, for you if you just settle with us than if you go to litigation and drag this out.
Right.
I have a list of, I may have spoken about this last time that we met, but we have a list of claims with Irma claims.
You guys keep mentioning insurance companies.
Yeah.
I just bleep it out.
So I don't know if you recall, right after Irma, like a few months after, they calling to settle the claims in bulk. Did they ever do that with you?
It's a global settlement. So.
Usually it's about 3 or 4 months after the storm occurs.
Yeah.
And usually it's when the new year happens too. Usually it's when reinsurance kicks in. Usually it's when the new year starts and taxes and stuff is already surpassed. Yeah. That happens all the time.
It only happened to us once. And so we went to that meeting. We couldn't come to an agreement. And then I have the values of the claims that we proposed to them at that time. And I walked out of there and I told them that we were going to not only achieve those amounts, but more. And I obviously never showed them this, but I kept records of how those claims settled, and they settled for a lot more, plus attorney's fees.
Please tell me tell me you called them or emailed them or something.
I wish I could. No, I can't. I can't do that. I don't think that's legal because it was confidential. The what was discussed.
It should be.
And so the amount that they paid ultimately for all those claims a year later, whatever it was significantly more than what they would have paid had we settled it for the amount that we were requesting at the time of the meeting, plus attorney's fees. Because I told them, if we don't settle today, I'm going to sue you on, well, not me, but I'm going to get my insurance to sue you on all these claims. So, and I did on every single one. So they paid, I don't know, probably 50, 60% more.
Nice.
Than what the claims were worth.
But how many PAs go in there? Because I know a few that went in there and were intimidated and settled these claims. I mean, that's the majority.
They told us.
But that's how we mark the difference.
They told us. They told us most PAs that we've met with have settled within 27% of the amount of their estimates.
What?
Yeah.
27%.
And you know what's crazy to me? I don't know if this happened with every PA, but I know other PAs that did this where they settled for a global settlement, right, for an X amount of files, and the PA was to distribute those funds amongst those claims.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely different claims. One global
So it was
settlement.
like it was a bulk settlement. It was like I'll give you X amount of money.
That can't be
for
right.
these. Yes, I can
That's what I was
attest to that
referring
100%. And it was like, here are these files, and this is the amount of money. And the PA had to it was like,
what?
they all had to sign a release, but the PA ultimately decided how those funds got distributed. It was just like a global. I guess like a global settlement.
Okay,
but
so that has never happened to me. No, I've never been offered a global settlement on a bulk of claims.
Yeah, it was a bulk of claims. I don't know if that's how.
That's exactly how it was. We didn't accept it, and we later found out that that's like borderline illegal.
That sounds like that sounds illegal as shit. Yeah.
But a lot of PAs, took the bait because they're like, oh wow, these people don't answer, they're not settling, and all of a sudden I get this.
And when you see the numbers, it's like, holy shit.
Right.
0, 0, 0, 0.
Right. And at the end of the day, a bad PA, or, I would call a bad PA, would say, you're offering me X amount of money, 20% of that or 10%, whatever, is this. And that's how they're looking at. But they're not really looking out for their clients because how many of them got shortchanged? Yes, you could have gotten more fees, but then they're afraid, or it's going to take longer. I may not get it. They get intimidated by the carrier, and they're just looking at what is it going to represent for me. And it doesn't matter which one of those homeowners or all of them, got underpaid.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So just to end before I end, I recall, just for the viewers, because it was great. I showed up with my two of my other adjusters that are like tall and
bodyguards.
Oh, nice.
We showed up, and then there's two other guys, and one is in a suit, also a big guy. And when I just saw that we weren't anywhere near, I literally just popped my computer. I'm like, I'm out. Like, we're not gonna come to an agreement. Let's go.
I do that.
Everybody got up, like, and we were walking.
Was it like that? Was it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, walking the other guys that are like bigger than me.
I've done that in mediation.
Yeah.
My mediations don't last longer than 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't want to waste my time.
And I'm sure they knew you walking out of there. They knew you were gonna get what you wanted, but I'm sure they
know
knew.
now.
They
know
knew
now.
it, but yeah, they know now, and I think they knew it then too. I think they
You think
knew.
so?
I think they knew it, but that's the risk they took, and they were banking on the other maybe 9 out of 10 that were gonna sit there and take it.
Exactly.
So, okay, well, this one guy, all right, he's good. All right, let him go.
Yeah.
But the other ones were all gonna, and they did. The other ones took it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Vince, mediations, we don't do many of those because of my bad previous experience with them. But how's it going for you?
It's hit or miss.
Hit or miss?
Yeah.
We've recently, I agreed to doing 5 recently, and we've already done 2. Terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I think it's majority terrible.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you hit on one. I think it's worth it. I think it shows the client that you're exhausting all measures, which the policy provides you.
Yeah.
But sometimes I give them the option. I'll tell them, hey, look, we can go to mediation. The good thing about mediation is if we don't agree, which most likely that's going to happen. If we don't agree, we can still proceed with litigation.
Yeah.
And sometimes you could proceed with appraisal, but that's a little hit or miss also.
Yeah.
But yeah, mediation, my last 5, 1 out of the 5 has been good, I would say. Yeah, because my last 2 or 3 have not gone the way I wanted to go. I mean, I'm talking like, I'm looking for like $50,000 and they're like at 5. And I'm like, guys,
right then,
come on.
You know what's up.
And the problem, what happens with mediation is because they're put on the spot, I realize that sometimes too, because they're put on the spot, the client will be like, okay, we'll just get them up to 10. Maybe we can do 10. And I'm like, no, wait, we're at 50.
My biggest fear is that.
Yeah.
And the ones that we've done, I told Albert, I told him, you must prep the client mentally before you get in there.
Absolutely.
That this is the number and we're not backing down from that. Even if we're like $1,000 away, we are not backing down from that.
Yeah, but again, that client is desperate.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's the client.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do what they
Wasn't
want.
one of the proposed bills this year was to get rid of the mediation program?
Really? No, I didn't know about that. I didn't hear about that.
know.
So
I don't think so.
I read something about
Yeah.
one of the proposed bills that had to do with the mediation. I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
think
I'm
so.
mistaken. Don't quote me on that. I'm gonna look it up.
Look it up. I mean, I think we're good. I think we could wrap this up. How long have we been going now? Jesus, this is my longest podcast. Maybe.
Like an hour 20.
No, Rico Garcia is still my longest podcast.
Rico
Yeah.
came here. We did a long.
I think that was our longest podcast.
Was it?
too.
Was it? Yeah,
It was
Rico.
good. It was good.
I like him.
I fucking love Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Rico, if you're
awesome.
still listening to this podcast, I fucking love you. We're doing now, if you guys ever want to tune in, because Rico and I, we read a lot, and we're always like, Rico, I don't know, we have this connection where we're just like, all I want to do is like feed my brain. I'm always like trying to feed my brain. He's sort of the same way. So we've got all these books that we've read and all these articles that we've read and all these videos that we've watched, and we always have the most like interesting conversations, but it's always just between us, and we're just like, dude, why don't we just like go live? So we're gonna start trying to. I missed it yesterday. This was my fault. We're gonna start trying to go live on like Facebook and maybe YouTube too, and just riff and just like talk.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love Rico. Rico's a
I
man.
look
Yeah,
forward
he
to
was-
it.
I introduced you guys to Rico, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
I
was
like,
here in our podcast like a month ago.
yeah, I told you guys. I think I told you guys that you gotta interview Rico. Rico's he's a rock star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got great energy too.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming on the Claims Game podcast.
Thank you for having us.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
All right, let's do
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks,
Take care.
Vince.
If you want